Good afternoon. I'm Judy Clark. I'm with the Allegheny Journal, and today we are speaking with Nancy Newhard, who has been the executive director of the Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center since 1989. So you're celebrating 30 years. And Nancy recently has announced her retirement, although she is going to continue there in some other duties. But in the meantime, we thought we'd talk to her about her remembrances of being at the Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center here in Clifton Forge. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Pleased to be here.
I understand. I know you came in 1989. I remember that.
Yep.
But the center was actually established in 1984. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I know there was a group of people that had a vision for bringing the arts to the Allegheny Highlands. Can you talk a little bit about those early years?
They felt like it was a shame that you had to go drive an hour and a half to get to somewhere, to a museum, to see an exhibit. They felt like there was a lot of talent in the area that needed a place to market their work, and they felt like the arts could contribute something to the community in terms of economic development and drawing people into the community as well.
Exactly, and it's located. It's still in the same location where it was
still
first.
In the same location, the old Vepco
building. The old Vepco building on Ridgeway Street. And there was also a concerted effort to make sure that it encompassed, even though it's located here in Clifton Forge, that we included people from the whole area, the Allegheny Highlands.
As part of their planning, when they developed a name, they wanted to be the Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center, so that they could count on volunteers and talent and support from Allegheny County, Covington, Clifton Forge, Eagle Rock, Iron Gate, the whole area, so that it would be something for the entire Highlands area rather than just one place.
Correct. And I know you were the first paid director, but wasn't it Barry Ballou who was the director?
Barry Ballou was director for a number of years. Helen Costel took a stint as director. Elaine Finestone, though not director, was key. Francis and Lou Armstrong from Covington. Bess Caton. Just a terrific group of people who got together with this idea and then planned out Beth Scott was another one. Planned out very carefully how things would be structured, what they would do, how they would organize things. I'd never been anywhere that there was a volunteer-run organization that had a procedure manual. It was a little daunting.
You know, and I remember when they came to, which was in City Council, to talk about what their plans were for the Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center. It was very impressive. So you... they had this vision for bringing the arts, and I know there are always exhibits at the center, but you also offer other things.
The exhibits change about every 4 to 6 weeks, but we also offer classes for all different ages. We do a summer art camp that's really popular. We do classes for adults in a whole variety of media, and we do a program in conjunction with the Virginia Commission for the Arts called the Artisan Education Residency, where we provide for the schools a professional artist to work in the classroom with the teacher and the students. They learn new techniques, they work with different materials, they produce great pieces of work, and then at the end of the residency in the spring, we do a big show of the student artwork, the residency artists' artwork, and whatever's been produced during the residency. It's probably one of the most popular shows we do.
You have one coming up pretty soon.
We have one. The residency artist will be here in November, and then in the spring, she'll be back again. We now, because both schools are on a block system, we do 5 days in the spring and 5 days in the fall, and then we do the big celebration in the spring.
And I've just looked in your van, and you have a lot of items that you're saving for this. Tell me a little bit about what she's planning on doing.
We do. She's going to be doing some murals and attaching things or employing things on sheets of plywood. And so she asked us for everything from old paint to old drawer handles. We actually sort of asked people just to clean out their junk drawers or their junk boxes and bring us all those things that they thought they'd use someday, but they've discovered they never will. So now what do I do with them? Well, if they put them in a box and bring them to the art center and say, this is for Nancy, they will know, and they will load my car up again.
It might end up in a piece of artwork.
It might end up in a piece of artwork.
And we've talked about some of the exhibits, and how many are you on now?
We're on exhibit 452.
Wow. Since its
inception. 1984.
Wow, that's crazy. And we were also talking about your most memorable, and there was one that would encompass...
There have been several that were really memorable, and I think one of the most special ones that we've done was the Allegheny Highlands Alive and Well with the history of the arts in the Allegheny Highlands, from the early potters that were here to some of the design that was incorporated into the railroad. We had some beautiful railroad tools from the turn of the century, paintings, craft work, woodwork, stitchery, baskets, just all sorts of things. And we did a show for that. That show lasted 2 months. And it was just wonderful because people came back from out of town who'd moved away and saw things that they had seen all their lives.
It's wonderful. And I know that you, of course, you've been a manager of the center, but you're also an artist yourself. What do you specialize in?
I'm a painter. I work with watercolor and acrylics. I work both representationally, things that you can recognize and identify and say, oh, look, that's a landscape. And then there are the wonderful, wild, abstract things that I do that just really turn me loose.
Doing. The center also had, you mentioned earlier, a gift shop that's very popular. Can you tell me a little bit about that, how that came about?
The center shop was part of the marketing of the area to the outside world, and so we have work by, right now, 250 active consigners. Their work has all been juried for quality, design, excellence, consistency, pricing, and so forth, but we have actually had 800 and some artists over the last 30 years of our existence, 35 years. And so there's always something there that people can find. It doesn't matter whether they come from New York or whether they come from Eagle Rock. They know that they're going to find something really special, really distinct, handmade, which is always one of the first questions that people ask when they come in. And we've met some really wonderful artists and craftspeople in the area as a result of it.
And I know I have bought many a wedding or birthday gift in there. You can always find, and it's unique, one of a kind. You know, you won't see it anywhere else. I know you cannot operate a center like this without a cadre of very dedicated volunteers. What do you suppose brings people to volunteer there?
I think they come for a variety of reasons. One is to do something helpful in the community, to do something that benefits the community as a large. They all love having visitors come in so they can tell them all the other places that they can go to see something, eat something, have an experience in the Highlands that's very special. They make good friends. We have people who've made friends and then they volunteered together and been friends together for years and years and years and years. I think a lot of them are there because they like or they have an interest in the arts and the craftspeople, because they get to know the different artisans.
Right, yeah.
But I think they do it mostly because they love their community, and this is an area that's particularly special when it comes to finding volunteers.
Exactly. I understand, even though you're retiring, you are going to continue in some other capacities. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm going to be curator, which means I'll be scheduling exhibits for the coming years, and then I'll also be doing educational classes and working with the Artisan Education Program.
Awesome. What do you see for the future of the Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center?
I think it's got a bright future. It's got a wonderful new director, Connie Baker, and a wonderful new shop manager, Honey Hepler. I think they're both very talented. Connie's been there for a couple of years before she moved into this position, and so she has a working knowledge of the center. Everybody that comes in brings a new idea, and I think it's just going to continue to grow. I hope it will. Certainly we continue to have good volunteer support and good support from the artists and craftspeople.
Right. And is the Fall Festival, I know the Fall Festival was last weekend here in Clifton Forge, and you have a show going on right now that will continue for a while.
The Fall Festival show is up until mid-November. It's work in every medium that you could possibly imagine, except for photography, because several years ago the photographers became so prolific in the area that they really sort of merited their own show. So when Fall Festival comes down, the FX2 show will go up, and that'll be all photography.
Excellent. So, well, congratulations on your retirement. I know you're going to stay busy, and
I will
still see you at the Allegheny. Did you think 30 years ago that you'd still?
I had no idea. I just knew I was landing in a good place. I had no idea how wonderful this community was.
Well, thank you. We're happy you're here and that you're sticking around, and that the Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center has been such an asset to our community, and it will continue to be so. So congratulations.
Thank you. Please come see us. Don't forget to sign the guest book.
And don't forget about the cleaning out your junk drawers.
Don't forget to clean out your junk drawers and bring me a box.
Got ideas. All right. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.